Welcome to the Scary Stories channel, where we delve into the darkest and most terrifying tales to send shivers down your spine. Today, we bring you a story that combines the horror of a terrorist attack with the supernatural terror of a haunted cornfield. Follow the story of a group of terrorists who steal millions of dollars and hijack a plane, taking a pilot and his daughter hostage. As they flee towards Mexico, one of the terrorists betrays his comrades, jumping from the plane with the money and disappearing into the night. Years later, a group of thrill-seekers venture into the infamous cornfield where the terrorists' betrayal ended in a bloody hunt. But as they push deeper into the rows of corn, they realize that the legends of the living scarecrows are all too real. Join us now on this journey of fear and terror, as we bring you the spine-tingling conclusion to this haunting tale. So, turn off the lights, grab a blanket, and get ready to be scared out of your wits, only on Scary Stories. As the terrorists approached the abandoned farm, they could feel a sense of unease settle over them. The cornfield was dense, and the scarecrows seemed to be watching them with empty, lifeless eyes. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from the field, and one of the terrorists raised his gun, ready to fire. But as the figure emerged from the corn, they realized it was their former accomplice, the one who had jumped from the plane. He was covered in blood, and his eyes were wild with fear. "Don't come any closer," he warned them, his voice shaking. "There's something out there, in the corn. It's not human." The other terrorists laughed at him, thinking he was trying to scare them or keep the money for himself. But as they pushed past him and entered the field, they quickly realized that something was very wrong. The corn was taller than they had anticipated, and it seemed to go on forever in every direction. The scarecrows, with their tattered clothes and straw-filled bodies, looked almost alive in the darkness. As they walked deeper into the field, the rustling grew louder, and they could hear whispers and moans coming from all around them. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the corn, dragging a bloody sack behind it. It was a scarecrow, but it was unlike any they had ever seen. Its eyes were glowing red, and its straw limbs seemed to move of their own accord. It let out a bone-chilling scream, and the terrorists realized they were in mortal danger. They turned to run, but the corn seemed to shift and twist around them, trapping them in a maze of endless rows. The scarecrows closed in, their faces twisted into grotesque masks of terror and fury. One by one, the terrorists were dragged down by the living scarecrows, their bodies were torn apart and dragged into the corn. The only one who survived was the traitor, who stumbled out of the field, his mind shattered by what he had seen. The money was never found, and the story of the haunted cornfield spread throughout the region. Locals say that on certain nights, you can still hear the screams of the terrorists and see the glowing eyes of the scarecrows, watching from the fields. And some say that if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of someone counting $3 million, over and over again, in the darkness. But despite the rumors and stories, no one dared to venture near the haunted cornfield. It became a place of dread, avoided by all who knew of its existence. Years passed, and the memory of the terrorist attack and the haunted cornfield slowly faded. But one night, a group of thrill-seekers decided to challenge the legend and explore the field. They armed themselves with cameras and flashlights, thinking that the stories were nothing more than urban legends. But as they entered the cornfield, they soon realized that the rumors were all too real. The scarecrows stood tall and menacing, their eyes glowing in the darkness. And as the group pushed deeper into the field, they heard the whispers and moans of the dead terrorists, still trapped within the rows of corn. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, dragging a bloody sack behind it. It was one of the living scarecrows, and it was heading straight towards them. The group tried to run, but the corn seemed to shift and twist around them, trapping them in the maze of rows. The scarecrows closed in, their eyes glowing with a hunger for vengeance. One by one, the thrill-seekers were dragged down by the living scarecrows, their screams echoing through the field. The only one who survived was a young woman, who stumbled out of the field, her mind shattered by what she had witnessed. From that day on, the haunted cornfield became a place of true terror, a warning to all who dared to challenge the legends of the past. And the memory of the terrorist attack and the living scarecrows would haunt the dreams of those who knew of its existence, a testament to the horror that lurked within the darkness. If you're a fan of spine-tingling horror and bone-chilling tales, then joining the Scary Stories YouTube channel is a must. With stories like the haunting legend of the Cornfield, this channel takes you on a journey into the depths of fear and terror. From ghosts and ghouls to murderers and monsters, the Scary Stories channel has something for every horror enthusiast. And with expertly crafted storytelling and vivid descriptions, you'll be transported into a world of darkness and dread. So, if you're brave enough to face your deepest fears and explore the unknown, then join the Scary Stories channel today. But be warned, once you start watching, you may never be able to look at the world the same way again.